Welcome back, folks, to the Frontline Network's broadcast show of WiFi's Gamekeys tournament. We just saw our first game between Siberian and Increase. They went up against each other in what was a pretty entertaining and pretty brutal battle on
That was epic.
Skya. Yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a tank battle.
That was an epic tank battle, all the ramming T-34-85s everywhere, and P4s getting so much veterancy and those sexy side skirts, and then all of a sudden, just over. The end. Three T-34s.
He had enough, didn't he? He just had enough.
Smoldering carcasses all over the field, and the P4s just emerged victorious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Siberian, he just knew that without more teching, and he just didn't have a chance of winning it. And so he threw in the towel.
Well, it was over.
It was over, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't.
He could never fight
it.
those vetted P4s, never. He needed Su-85s. He can't trade blows with the vetted P4s. There's just no way.
No, he cannot. But now we are going to see what happens when Siberian has a chance to take over as the Germans himself. We're going to see what Increase does with the Soviets. Once again, we're going to be on Sky, ladies and gentlemen, so sit back, relax, and we will look forward to Game 2 of this next series. Fatal, are you ready at the 10-second mark?
I'm at the 10-second mark because apparently today we are rebels.
Yes, we are. No more, none of this 5-second nonsense. We're here for the. we like to live dangerously.
Yes.
So here we are. The 10-second mark. We'll be unpausing in 3, 2, 1. Unpause. 12, 13, 14, 15. I can't count. It's just very, very deeply ingrained in me. You know, after a few thousand shoutcasts, it just becomes automatic.
Yeah, it does. Nothing fancy from Siberian. I see tier 1 building going up with his initial Pyos. No second Pyo on the way, I believe. And conscript opening for Increase. It's going to be interesting to see if he also goes for a tier 1 opening, which is the usual stuff to go for as Soviets. You want that highly mobile M3 to get around the MGs because they're extremely hard to flank. You could almost say impossible to flank. Well, nothing's impossible to flank, but the problem is it just takes too long with a small arms damage. So technically, it's kind of impossible to flank. So you need that extra oomph from the M3 flamers, for example, or snipers. Snipers do the deal. That's going to work.
Yeah, we've seen some really nice usage of Soviet snipers in these games in the tournament, and also back in our World Championship tournament that we had back on the first weekend of the game's launch. We saw some really nice sniper usage back then.
Or Siberians. Aim strong sniper usage against Cefa in the best of 5 finals of our World Championship. Just sprinting all over Kolodny, sniping everything, being extremely annoying. That's how you use snipers, man. That's how you use snipers. He got
delicious.
that from Vico.
That's damn straight.
First early engagement with the Grenadiers versus Conscript. Conscript capping the middle munitions point. They had the superior cover, so Siberian knows better and backs off instead of trying to run in and take tons of damage approaching those Conscripts in green cover, and instead just backs away to cap one of the strategic points instead.
Yeah, I mean, as much as possible, you want to remove random number generation from the equation. You don't want to go into an engagement that you know that it's like a 50-50. You might win it, you might not.
Maybe.
Because, yeah, you know, that's not a reliable way to win. You might win it. Obviously, 50% of the time, you will win that engagement, but the other 50% of the time, it's not going to work out. And this is a tournament. You got to play, you got to play the safe route. You got to play the reliable route.
Yeah, and we do have a tier 1 building going up. I'm not exactly sure what's going on because he went 1 conscript, 1 combat engineer, tier 1. This is some crazy stuff. I'm not exactly sure.
He might be on the receiving end of a base spin here, though, a super early base spin. 2.5 minutes into the game, we already have an MG42 set up on the Soviet player's cutoff. The cutoff is taken by the Grenadier squad. The MG42 is pointing into the base.
There's nothing to stop him. There's just nothing to stop him.
It's because he built his tier 1 at a really weird point.
There's 200 manpower. That's almost another infantry squad from his tier 0, his HQ. He could have gotten another conscript, for example, but he went with an additional combat engineer to put up his tier 1 building extremely early to get an M3 out. And he just hit 60 munitions with the sectors that he actually has in his control to get a flamethrower to this combat engineer that was forced off by the MG at the cutoff. So he's going to be able to flush off the MG right now, but there are grenadiers in the vicinity, both at the middle munitions and capping the BP in the center as well, fairly close to this MG. So he's not going to be able to just run right past it, because then he will get fausted.
This is looking a little bit
Strange.
a little bit strange. Yeah, a little bit strange. MG42 is pointing right at the base there. So Increase is doing the sensible thing and not just charging right into it. But he is,
Sniper queued up for the Soviets.
the thing is, the longer you wait to break the base pin, the more defensive he's going to get, the better of a position that Siberian's going to be in. So while you don't want to rush straight into something where you're just going to lose a ton of manpower, you don't want to sit back forever either.
Now you want some sectors in your possession. At least he has the sectors on the left-hand side. He has 3 strategic points, and in Couple of Heroes 2, you get a little bit of munitions and fuel from every point on the field, and then you get extra much from the munitions points and the fuel points, obviously. So he has an okay income right now of 13 fuel, so he can keep teching somewhat reliably, but he's extending with another conscript squad now. So he went conscript, combat engineer, tier 1, M3 to get the flamer combat engineer inside, and then a sniper and another conscript.
Ooh, an early sniper. That's a good move, actually.
Yeah, he's kind of building up to the usual stuff that you see, but just in a
weird way,
order.
in a very roundabout way. But a
Maybe
sniper this
sounds
early
good.
is that's gonna be really, really good for him. He's rushing in now with this M3. He's got a flamer in there too.
He can't afford to be too close to either of those two Grens. One of them was forced away at 2 men after taking 2 sniper bullets into the face. And this M3 is going to try to at least stop this Grenadier. He's going for the MG. He's going to get
right in.
And it's very
Whoa!
damaged.
Oh no! Right in front of the MG. This isn't good. If he takes one burst at that close range, he's going to lose a lot of men very quickly. Oh, look at that damage! Oh wow! The crits go in.
There's no Molotovs, no nothing yet, so he's going to have to rely on just small arms fire, and this MG is just going to relocate, but the Soviet sniper is still just popping away at that MG crew, and the pin is actually going to be lifted in just a while with an additional conscript squad coming into this battle now. Oh, he might
Look at this,
MG.
we have a new element being added to the field. It is an armored car. Tier 2 is up in super fast style, and the armored car, the scout car, is already here. And the half track is building.
MG down to
Oh,
the
no.
Soviet snipers. Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
no,
gonna be
that's
a
not good.
steal. He might be able to pursue this conscript squad into the base, however. They only have small arms fire to rely on. He is taking for 18 A's right now, but there's going to take a while before they're actually completed. But that conscript squad is actually managed
Oh,
to
nice
get away.
rifle nade, nice rifle nade, lovely stuff.
Might be able to decrew this MG, last remaining man on retreat,
does.
and it does. But he's going to recrew it instantly,
He's
I
just
believe,
gonna-
and
yeah,
then
he's
maybe
just
try
gonna
and
take
run
it
away. He wants that MG. It's a nice steal in the early game.
Guys, listen to me if you want to live.
Well, here is the half track. He can't yet afford the munitions to upgrade to a flamer, but I expect that he will soon.
We're taking some fire.
Well, generally you see a Flammenwerfer, some players don't go for it, they only use it for basically the forward reinforcement opportunity from that half tracks. But most people generally will go for the Flammenwerfer upgrade on it because it dishes out so much damage. All flame weaponry in Couple of Heroes 2 is extremely lethal.
That it is. He's definitely floating to get the flamers on this half track though.
I know what he's gonna do. He loaded up 2 Grens in that half track, I believe, and he's going to just go right past that MG. Sadly though, that already retreated back to base.
It's already gone
And
here,
here-
but he is.
There goes full retreat.
He runs right up to the cutoff once again, and we're gonna have a cutoff move.
Yep, once again, he's going to be cut off from the right-hand side fuel, which means he's only going to have 2 strategic points on the left-hand side. He's trying to reclaim that with a lone country squad on the left-hand side. Completely unopposed right now, but you know, with a 2-2-1 on the field and a German half-track, Siberian can easily relocate to the left-hand side just to force off 1 squad capping. This stolen MG, though, is going to work miracles for the Soviet player. That's exactly what it needs against these Grenadiers.
And against a base pin, he can just leave it next to his cutoff, and a base pin is going to be virtually impossible.
So 18-8s are upgraded. So he can 18-8 his 2-2-1 and that German half-track as well. He might be able to get an
the
18-8 up
spotter
here.
from the sniper was killed.
Oh, small arms fire might be able to polish off this German scout car. It's very low health. He has his Pio in the vicinity, and his MG is actually able to suppress that conscript squad on the right-hand side at the middle munitions points. So he's going to save his German scout car in this engagement after getting 18-aided from one of the conscript squads from Increase.
There's just such a lot of firepower here from Siberian. So concentrated.
Yeah, he knows what he wants to do. I want to take your cut off, and I'm going to take it. That's basically what's going to happen. There's not much I think Gamekeys can do about it. He can stall, but with that German half-track on the field, even with the sniper just popping away at anything that he can, MGs or Grams or whatever, it doesn't really matter because he can reinforce in the field. It's going to cost him manpower, but as long as he doesn't just run out of manpower completely, he's going to be able to remain in the field.
Dual flamers just torching.
Right now the Soviet player is basically just trying to run out of his base, but this is the long red pin. He is pinned in his base and there's not much he can do about it. As long as that German half-track remains, especially with the flamers, loads of damage being dished out against the MG and conscripts trying to exit the base, and the forward reinforcement from the German half-track means that Siberian never has to retreat, even when a sniper just keeps firing at him. And here comes the scout car, forces the retreat on the Vet 1 sniper instantly, and basically every single squad of the Soviets are back at base.
Oh wow, they're also concentrated there. If only he got a nice flamer off them.
There are guards on the field, PTRS rifles. After getting 18 that German Flammenwerfer is actually extremely damaged, and PTRS rifles might be able to kill him off unless Siberian uses Panzer Tactician smoke on that half-track to actually save its life.
Nice use of smoke there.
Very nice.
Got his half-track out of harm's way, and now the pin is really in effect. He's even taken that one of the sectors off there to the left-hand side, leaving Increase with just his base and then 2 additional connected sectors. That is it.
There's just no way. He has to stop trying to exit outside just to his cutoff. It's not going to work. He's never going to get out of there because he can't dislodge that MG. He can't really do anything against the vehicles either. He has guards, but they're never going to be able to get close enough.
This is looking very, very grim for Increase right now.
Very good idea from Siberian, sending his Panzer Grenadiers to the left-hand side, capping instead of fighting on the front line, because he can't really engage in close quarters combat with those SCG-44s outside of the Soviet base. There's just way too much firing on him when he doesn't have the support from the MG and the Flammenwerfer, for example. So it's better to just go capping with him, especially if the Soviet player sends one lone conscript squad to the left-hand side to go capping, for example. That Panzer Grenadier squad easily going to be able to solo that one conscript squad, just trying to harass cap on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, it's looking very grim. I don't know. We need to see some tech from the Soviet players sooner rather than
later.
What's
he gonna do? He's got no income. He has 7 fuel income, 120 in the bank, but both tier 3 and tier 4 building cost 90 fuel. So after putting that up, he has no fuel remaining almost.
In that case, he's going to need an AT gun. AT gun is the only way.
Tier 2. Yeah, tier 2 is the only option right now. Generally, you don't see very many Soviet players go for tier 2, however. I believe they find, the Maxim after the various nerfs it has received, it's been fairly lackluster, I have to say. There's no more Maxim spam that you see in Automatch anymore, not properly at least. And AT guns, they just tend to miss too much, and the Soviet mortar is also fairly lackluster compared to the German mortar. I really like the German mortar, it's extremely accurate, I think. Not many people get them though. Flame is just sitting in front of an MG, taking fire. He doesn't care.
He's now up to Vet 2 as well. Yeah, nice. Nice use of smoke.
Oh, he's using the...
nice. Nice.
Oh, he's taking quite a lot of damage. He's going to be able to force him away, but he's still not going to be able to exit the base.
Oh wow, that scout car just... it went right through that scout car.
Everybody in the German army is smoking right now.
They're all going to die of lung cancer eventually. if Increase can just wait like another 40 years, yeah, then eventually they'll die of cancer, so he'll be okay.
I think he will have run out of VPs by that point, though.
Nah, surely not.
Vet 2 stolen MG, actually same veterancy level as Siberian's remaining MG.
Wow, and Vet 2 from 1 kill.
Lots and loads of damage to the vehicles, I believe.
Oh, that would be why.
Yeah, he did so much damage to both the half-track and the scout car by just shooting at it for a while.
Oh, here comes. It's arch enemy.
Yeah, at vet 2, it gets the generic German vet 2 buff, which reduces damage taken, which technically means an HP buff, you know, when you look at it.
Oh, look at that, look at that. Incendiary rounds being used again.
Oh, he might be able to take it out. That was a huge gain, but the enemy MG still remains, but he can't actually reinforce in the field anymore, so now that sniper needs to actually deal the damage to dislodge this base.
That's true, yeah. Now he just needs to go to work. Although there's another big problem, another very big problem on the horizon. Tier 3 is now up from Siberian.
Still no tick for the Soviet player.
Whoa, what was that? That was a big ass mortar round.
Yeah, 120mm mortar was his choice. That's what he went for.
Seems sensible.
Yeah, it's okay. He can get rid of the MG, maybe, for example, or other stationary weapons, or get a lucky hit on one of the infantry squads just idling around. But it's still base pit, and it's triple cap. Siberian hasn't led a single VP, which means if this game is won by Siberian, he's going to have choice for the third game.
And after
because he hasn't lost a single VP.
And after this brutalizing, no prizes for guessing which faction he's going to choose for his game 3.
Well, he seems to... He generally plays Soviets on his streams. It seems to be, you know, his preferred faction. And I think he's stronger with the Germans. I think it's because when he plays as Soviets, he just experiments too much to be healthy. Let's get some female battalions. Let's, you know, open up with a sniper and an M3. Let's do this, let's do that. But well, with the Germans, it's just like, I want 2 Grens, 2 MGs, tier 2 as fast as possible, get the scout car out, just harass the Soviet sniper, force him to retreat so he can't deal the damage, or get the kills, get the German half-track, go for the pin, done deal. Game over.
Well, it's very standard, but it's very effective.
Yeah. So finally the base pin was reverted, and he's going to be able to leave his base now. He still has very little of the map, and he tried to harass the left-hand side bottom VP outside of the German base, but that was stopped by a Vet 2 Grenadier, instantly forcing a retreat on a combat engineer. Yeah, now this is a problematic. This is very, very problematic. He still has no fuel income. He's got 150 in the bank, but after putting up a building, he will have 60 remaining. He could build a T-70, for example, not going to be able to take out the P4. He can't afford the Su-85, he can't afford the T-34, which might be able to at least stall this P4 and stop it. But he just doesn't have the fuel. He's not going to be able to get the sectors either, because with this P4 in the field, the base pin is going to be in the fight again soon, I think.
Yeah, I think this P4 is going to be a bit of a nail in the coffin for Increase here. Without the ability to get an Su-85, he's a bit stuffed.
Yeah, he's doing the only thing he can do right now. He's getting tier 2. He needs AT guns. He figured out the math. I can't afford a Su-85 after building the base building. I can't afford a T-34 after building the base building. I gotta get AT guns. That's all I can do right now. But he's lacking in manpower, so either way, it's gonna be a full minute before he can start production of an AT gun.
Oh, and now it's 120 mil was deep crewed as well. Yeah, it's a recon flight.
So he knows what's going on. He's going to be able to see that tier 2 building being constructed, and I think Siberian's going to be like, good. I like that. I forced you into this decision to get AT guns right now, so now I can basically counter that.
Yeah, he's going to be in a very happy position now. He's even got the UG gun on his scout car now.
That does so much damage to base buildings as well. Especially when it starts hitting Vet 3 and it gets the increased damage. You can like solo the base MGs, no problem.
Oh wow.
They do so much damage.
Oh wow, the spotter was knocked out there. And there we go, Vet 3 on the armored car after killing that spotter.
Just using the scout car against the sniper when it's unsupported is exactly what he want to do. It's going to force a retreat on the sniper, which means he's not going to be able to actually take out any men on the field, which means it's completely useless. It's just wasting time for the Soviet player right now. 360 manpower, can't deal any damage back. It's just useless right now. AT gun in production, but it's going to be a while before it's completed. And what's one AT gun going to do against the massive force of the German army? You know, MG sitting outside of the base, plenty of grenadiers, the MG bunkers are going down, so he could just basically walk right into the Soviet base. Oh, a second P4 and a half frag out from Siberian now.
He wants to put the boot in here.
Yeah, The nail is coming. The nail is going to penetrate the wood, and that will be it. Heroic Conscript gonna try to take out that Vet 3 AC. 18 aid was not enough. He might need a second one, maybe small arms fire. He dies on retreat. Vet 2 Conscript, there we go. Hey!
Smoke wasn't quite enough to save him. That's unfortunate.
Just a second too late. Milliseconds too late. Here's the AT gun out, taking shots on that P4, dealing quite a bit of damage on it, but he still has no sectors apart from one strategic point outside of his base connect.
Well, Conscript Squad went down there. It was silenced, according to the P4 commander.
Silenced?
Yeah, it's rather chilling, isn't it? wasn't just killed. They were silenced.
There we go, AT gun now opening up on the German half-track. Pop smokes, get out of the way. And here's the second P4. It's not damaged whatsoever. The Pios are going to go and repair that first P4. But I don't know, he's down to 164 VPs. He doesn't really have any map presence. He's basically sitting in his base, more or less. He's got a Vet 3 Soviet sniper with 36 kills, and still just not enough. Oh, nice rifle nade on that AT gun. Takes out one single crew member out of 6, but he managed to get rid, or at least force a retreat on the stolen MG42. But Soviet player now down to 5 units, 1 guard squad. He doesn't have a single remaining conscript. 1 guard, 1 combat engineer. He just recruited his 120mm mortar. He's got that Vet 3 sniper, the stolen MG42, and 1 sys gun, and he's actually getting another AT gun now.
I think this is all very valiant, but I think it might just all be a little too late now. We've got a third tank now on the way. It is an Oswin. That is really going to make life miserable for increases Soviet infantry.
Yeah, without.
Whoa, that was a huge hit.
Guards.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. The buildings, half the building's gone. And
oh, wow.
That is the entire building is gone.
2 shells. Here comes a flanking P4, sees the second AT gun, but I do believe that the reconnaissance flight already saw that. He's just hovering around the Soviet base, just taunting him right now, I think.
Well, at least there was a small morale victory for Increase. He managed to drain Siberian of a measly 10 VPs, but hey, it's better than losing to a clean streak. That's always a bit demoralizing.
Yeah, when you lose 500 to 0, it's just like I couldn't even get 2 VPs. Really, did it just happen? Like I didn't really get anything.
Yeah,
it's not good. You know.
Oh,
what
boy.
am I going to do next game?
Here we
I'm
go.
going to die again.
That AT gun was cleared in record time. The one man retreated, wasn't even allowed to escape.
Siberian now using attack move on the gun itself to permanently destroy it, so it's not recruitable, and that prompts the fat lady. Yeah, that prompts the fat lady to actually enter the fields of Longorskaya and start singing.
Well, it was a valiant effort put in by Increase, but unfortunately he just lost out in the end to a very effective early game.
Yeah, the pin meant that he basically had no resources, so he probably couldn't do what he wanted to do. He probably wanted to go for tier 4, for example, or at least tier 3, but he never had the fuel because he was always base pinned, and you know, he was out-ticked because he had no map control. Yeah,
it was a very unfortunate position for him. But well played there by Siberian. He does bring up the scores to 1-1 in this series, the semi-final series of WiFi's Tournament of Gamekeys. We are going to be right back in just a minute with the third game, the rubber match that will decide who goes through into the finals between these two very good players. Who goes into the final for a chance at winning that nice big haul of games that we've got up there as prizes. So don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back with Game 3 from this series between Siberian and Increase.